new topic, which is about the tangent lines to the polar curve. Okay, so how we can find the tangent lines to polar curves at the origin. At the origin. Okay, so how we can find the tangent line when you have any curve at the origin point. Okay, point of origin. So there is a theorem for which we can use to find the tangent lines. So what is that theorem? That you have to read this or you have to like go through this statement one or two times, that for example in the exam, if any multiple choice question or any question is came to you regarding this theorem, you should know. Okay, so what is the theorem? That if the polar curve, if the polar curve which is represented by r is equal to f of theta, f of theta passes through the origin point, passes through the origin. For example, you can say at theta is equal to theta naught. And if the derivative of r with respect to theta is not equal to 0, at theta is equal to theta naught, then you can say, then the line for this theta is equal to theta naught is the tangent to the curve at the origin. Okay, so this is the statement. What is this statement means? That for example, if you have any curve which represents r is equal to f of theta, from that curve you can find the points of origin, okay, which you can get from theta is equal to theta naught. And after that, if you find the derivative of r with respect to the theta, okay, and if you substitute these points in this value, this is the points in this value, and it is not equal to 0, then you can say the points theta is equal to theta naught are the tangent lines. Okay, so this is the theorem for which how you can find the tangent line. So from the example it will be very clear how we use this theorem to find the tangent lines of any polar coordinate or any polar curve. Okay, so what we have to do to find the tangent line, we have to first take r is equal to f of theta, which is equal to 0. Okay, whatever is the polar curve is given, you can put that is equal to 0, and from this value you will get different values of theta. Okay, you will get the equation f of theta is equal to 0, and you have to solve this equation. Okay, solve this equation, and when you will solve f of theta is equal to 0, you will get different values of theta. Okay, for example, you have sine of theta is equal to 0. Okay, so theta is equal to sine inverse of 0. Sine inverse of 0, when it is possible, when it is 0, it is plus minus pi, it is plus minus 2 pi, like this one. Okay, so you will get different values of theta. So when you get different values of theta, then after that you have to find dr with respect to theta. Okay, and you have to put all these thetas what you have get from this equation and substitute here. If all the thetas if you put here and it is not equal to 0, you can say the thetas, whatever is the theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, that lines are the tangent lines. Okay, so this is the small introduction of this theorem. Now I will give you one example. From that, it will be very clear that how we can find the tangent line to the curve. Okay, so what is the example that we have to find the tangent line to the curve r is equal to sine of 3 theta at the origin. When you're talking about the origin, okay, it means you have to use this theorem. Okay, so for r is equal to sine of 3 theta, everybody know how we can draw the graph. You remember the graphs are rose petals. Okay, so 3 theta means 3 rose petals, 1, 2, and this is the third one. Okay, so we have to find the tangent lines. Okay, so this will be the first tangent line and this will be the second tangent line. By mathematically we have to find, and theta should be greater than or equal to 0 and less than pi. For these values, we have to find the angle. We have to find the lines, tangent lines. Okay, how we can find? We have solution. See, we have r is equal to what? Sine of 3 theta, right? Put that is equal to 0. This means sine of 3 theta is equal to what? 0. Okay. So if I write here 3 theta, which is equal to sine inverse of 0. Sine inverse of 0 is only possible when sine inverse of 0. For which values of sine, the sine inverse is 0? Anybody can tell me? Anybody? Okay, if you don't know, what about other? Sine of 0 is equal to 0. Sine of plus minus pi is equal to 0. Sine of plus minus 2 pi is equal to 0. Sine of plus minus 3 pi is equal to 0, and so on. Okay, it means 3 theta is equal to 0, plus minus pi, plus minus 2 pi, and you can say it is continuous, like up to 4 pi, 5 pi, 6 pi, 7 pi, like this one. Okay, now if I want to find theta, I have to divide each angle with by 3. Okay, so 0 by 3, that will give me 0, pi by 3, and then 2 pi by 3, and then so on. Okay, but you remember I told you that we have a theta in between 0 and pi. So how many angles I can take? So theta is equal to what? 0. Theta is equal to what? Pi by 3. And theta is equal to what? 2 pi by 3. Why I didn't take the negative sign? Because we have the theta is in between 0 and pi. We have an angle of theta is in between 0 and pi. Okay, so these are the only three possible theta which we get from the equation. Okay, now what we have to do now, we have to find dr by d theta. This is dr. What is the derivative of sine of 3 theta? What is the derivative of sine of 3 theta? Cosine of 3 theta. Okay. But what more? What? So the sine of 3 theta angle, the derivative is equal to 3 times cosine of theta. 3 times cosine of theta. Okay. Now you have to check. You have to check that this is equal to 0 or not equal to 0. Okay. How you can check? See, if I put what are the points we have? We have 3 points. Okay. If I put the first point, 3 into cosine of 0, which is equal to 3 into cosine of 0 is 1, which is equal to 3. That is not equal to 0. Okay. The first one checked. Now the second point is pi by 3. This is 3. Okay. Here, this is 3. This is 3. Okay. So 3 into cosine of 3 pi by 3. 3 pi by 3 means cosine of pi. 3 into cosine of pi, which is equal to 3 into minus 1, which is equal to minus 3, which is not equal to 0. Similarly, you have to put the third one. The third one is what? 3 into cosine of 3 into 2 pi by 3. Okay, 3 and 3 cancel, which is equal to 3 into cosine of 2 pi, and cosine of 2 pi is equal to what? 1, which is equal to 3 and not equal to 0. It means you can say that dr by d theta is not equal to 0. When it is not equal to 0 at theta is equal to 0, theta is equal to pi by 3, theta is equal to 2 pi by 3, you can say that, so the curve has have 3 tangent lines. One should be theta is equal to 0, one should be theta is equal to pi by 3, and the third one is theta is equal to 2 pi by 3. Is this clear? Is this okay? At the origin. At the origin. Is this clear? Understand? Yes or no?
Yes, teacher. But can you repeat the dr and d theta? The derivative.
dr. Okay, this one. Okay, I got it. See, r is equal to sine of 3 theta. Okay. So dr by d theta, how you can find sine derivative is what? Cosine. Cosine of 3 theta. Now you have to take the angle derivative. 3 theta derivative is equal to 3. So you have to write here 3 cosine of 3 theta. Whenever you check, r is equal to cosine of, for example, you have sine of theta. If you take the derivative, sine derivative is cosine of theta. Okay. And theta derivative is equal to 1. So you write is equal to cosine of theta. Okay. But here the angle is 3 theta. So you have to put 3. Okay. This is clear? Okay, good. So any question, any other question you want to ask about this example? So this is how you can find the tangent lines of any curve at the origin point. Okay. So the next topic is about the arc length. how we can find the arc length of the curve, arc length of the polar curve, length arc length of a polar curve. Okay, so how we can find the arc length? So there is a definition. You can say that if no segment of a polar curve r is equal to f of theta is traced more than once as theta increases. Okay, as theta increases from alpha to beta, and if dr by d theta is continuous function, it must be a continuous function, it must be continuous for theta should be in between alpha and beta, then the arc length L from theta is equal to alpha to theta is equal to beta is given by this formula, that L is equal to integral from alpha to beta, okay, square root of f of theta whole square plus f dash of theta whole square d theta. Okay, so you can write this formula is also equal to integral from alpha to beta square root, this is r square plus dr by d theta whole square into d theta. Okay, so this is the formula where you can find the arc length of any polar curve. So if you remember this formula, I think that no question, it's you will never find any difficulty about the integration, because I know you studied 101 or 2, and in 102 you discuss in details the integration. Okay, so this is all about the integration. If you know this formula, you can solve any question. Okay, so remember this formula. This formula is for finding the arc length of any polar curve. Okay, so now we will use this formula to find the arc length of the polar curve. For example, we have a question example that find example find the arc length, find the arc length of the spiral r is equal to e power theta between theta is equal to 0 and theta is equal to pi. Okay, now we have to find the arc length for the polar curve is given this one. Okay, where theta is in between 0 and pi. Okay, so you have to solve this one. So for this you must know what is the formula for finding the arc length. The arc length L is in between alpha and beta. Okay, square root of r square plus dr by d theta whole square into d theta. Okay, r already we know, r which is equal to e power theta we already know. we have to find dr by d theta. Anybody can tell me what is the derivative of r with respect to theta? Anybody? Exactly same, which is equal to e power theta. Yeah, very good. So substitute these two values in the formula. What you will get, L is equal to integral alpha is 0, okay, and beta is pi square root. What is r square? R square means e power theta whole square plus dr by d theta is equal to what? The same e power theta into whole square d theta. Okay, so this is equal to what? This is equal to what? Integral from 0 to pi, okay, square root. Can I write this is 2 times e power theta whole square into d theta? Can I write yes or no? If you have same things, okay, x and x plus x is equal to 2x. So this is same and this is same, so I can write 2 times this one. Okay, now you can take the separate square root. How you can take two square root separate, and you can take the square root of e power theta power 2 and into d theta. Okay, so this square root cancel with the square. So what you will get? You will get 0 to pi, and you can take square root of 2 outside, and this is equal to e power theta d theta. Okay, this is square root of 2. What is the integration of e power theta? What is the integration of e power theta? Anybody? Integration of e power theta. Integration of e power theta is the same e power theta. Okay, and you have to put 0 to pi. If I put the upper limit, that will give me e power pi, and if I put the lower limit, that is e power 0, and we know that e power 0 is equal to 1. So this is square root of 2 e power pi minus 1. So this is the arc length. This is what? Arc length of the polar curve. R is equal to e power theta between theta is equal to 0 and theta is equal to pi. Got it? Is this okay? Is there any question about this example?
just teacher شو اسمه just
Which
2 steps I think back.
one? This which step? This one?
No, right teacher.
Right, this one?
No,
Okay.
this
Okay,
teacher.
let me allow you to write on the board and tell me which.
Okay.
Okay, write on the board. Which one? Okay, change the color. This
This
one?
teacher. Yes.
Okay. See, e power theta, we have to take the integration, okay? This is square root of 2 integration from 0 to pi, and this is e power theta d theta. Okay, so square root of 2 is same. Now you have to take the integration. Integration and derivative is this thing is same. Okay, just like you tell now that the derivative is this thing, so its integration is the same. Okay, so you have to put the lower limit and you have to put the upper limit. First you will put theta pi and then you will put 0. Okay, so if I put here pi, so this will be e power pi. Okay, minus square root of 2 and we have to put here 0. Okay, so that is equal to square root of 2 e power pi minus square root of 2 and e power 0 is equal to 1. So you can take square root of 2 outside, that is equal to e power pi minus 1. So this is the same answer. Okay, just we take the integration. Got it? Okay, good. So this is about the arc length. So another example, so that will help you to understand more how we can find the arc length when we have the symmetries. Okay, in this case we don't have any symmetry. Symmetry means the same thing you find on the x side or same thing you will find on the y side. So whenever you have the symmetry, so how we can find the arc length? So there is an example that find the arc length. We have to find the total arc length of the cardioid when r is given, which is 1 plus cosine of theta. Okay, so total cardioid means you have to find the full arc length. So what is cardioid for this one? You remember we discussed the graphs. Okay, so the graph of this one will be like this type of shape. Okay, now tell me this graph from this point to this point is exactly same in the downside, right? This upper part and the lower part is exactly same, right? Yes or no? The upper part of the graph and the lower part is exactly same. So it means if you find the arc length of the upper part and make it double, okay, 2 times, you get the full arc length. Okay, so the cardioid solution, the cardioid is traced out once as theta varies from 0 to 2 pi, because this is the total cardioid. Total cardioid, it means the angle will be full 0 to 2 pi. But since the cardioid is symmetric, the cardioid is symmetric about the polar axis, which is x-axis or y-axis. Anybody can tell me? It is symmetric along x-axis or y-axis? X-axis, very good. So it is symmetric along x-axis. So we will find the arc length between 0, theta is equal to 0 and theta is equal to pi, and then double it. Okay, because when we take from 0 to pi, the same thing you will get down. So because it is symmetric, if you double it, you will find the full arc length. Okay. So what is the formula for finding the arc length? You know that the formula is A is equal to integral from alpha to beta square root of r square plus dr by d theta whole square into d theta. So this is the formula. Okay. Now you have to make it double. So I will write here 2. Is this okay? Why I write in the formula 2? Is this clear? Because this is symmetric along x-axis. So we take the theta is equal to 0 to pi. So we take half side. So that's why we make it double. Okay. Now r is given. R is given which is equal to 1 plus cosine of theta. We need to find dr by d theta. Dr by d theta is equal to what? What is the derivative of 1? What is the derivative of 1? 0. And what is the derivative of cosine of theta? Minus sine of theta. Yeah, minus n. Okay. So that is minus sine of theta. So when you put the minus these two values in the formula, what you will get? 2 times integral alpha is 0, beta is pi, square root r is this one. R means 1 plus cosine of theta whole square plus dr by d theta means minus sine of theta whole square into d theta. Okay. Now simplify it and we will get the integration. How we can simplify? Just open the formula. That is equal to 2 times integral from 0 to pi, and a plus b whole square means a square plus 2ab plus b square. Okay, so this is the formula, and minus sine square means minus sine whole square means sine square plus sine square. Okay, and this is the square root and d theta. Okay, so what is about cosine square plus sine square is equal to what? Anybody can tell me? Sine square plus cosine square is equal to sine square plus cosine square is equal to 1, right? This is cosine square plus sine square is equal to, yeah, it's equal to 1. So 0 to pi square root, this is 1 plus 2 cosine of theta plus 1 d theta. Okay, so simplify it, you will get it, that is equal to 2 times from 0 to pi square root of 1 plus 1, that is equal to 2 plus 2 cosine of theta d theta. Okay, so if you make it more simplify, 0 to pi square root of 2 into 1 plus cosine of theta into d theta. Okay, so is this possible to take the integration of this one? No. So you have to simplify it more. 0 to pi square root of 2 and 1 plus cosine of theta, half angle formula. 1 plus cosine of theta is equal to 2 times cosine square theta by 2. I don't know you remember or not remember that 1 plus 1 plus cosine of, okay, I will write in the black. 1 plus cosine of 2 theta divided by 2 is equal to cosine of cosine square theta. Okay, so if it is 2 theta, if it is 2 theta, you have to write here theta. If it is 1 theta, so that becomes 1 plus cosine of theta divided by 2 is equal to cosine square theta by 2, half it. Okay, so this is 2 theta, I make it theta. So this is theta, I will make it theta by 2. And this 2 go this side, that will give you, I will write here, okay, one line. So 1 plus cosine of theta is equal to 2 times cosine square theta by 2. So that's why I write here this one. Okay, is this clear? Why I write? So you have to take 2 times 0 to pi, 2 multiplied by 2, that is equal to 4 cosine square theta by 2 d theta. This is d theta. Okay, so now you have to simplify this one. I will take another page. Is this clear till now? Is this clear? Any question? Okay, so I will remove this one and I will write. Can you please have a break after this? Yeah, of course, Ibrahim. Just only 1 minute and then we will have a break. So we get 2 integral from 0 to pi square root of 4 cosine square theta by 2 into d theta. Okay, so I can take this is equal to 2 times 0 to pi. If I remove the square root, that will becomes 2 and that will becomes cosine of theta by 2. Okay, square root cancel. Square root of 4 is equal to 2 and 2 multiplied by 2, that is equal to 4 and 0 to pi cosine of theta by 2 d theta. So what is the integration? Anybody can tell me what is the integration of cosine of theta by 2? 4 you have to write exactly same. What is the integration of cosine of theta? That is sine theta by 2 and the derivative of theta by 2 is 1 over 2. Okay, so this is from 0 to pi. Simplify it, you will get this is equal to 8 sine of theta by 2. You have to put 0 and you have to put pi. Okay, so first you have to put the upper limit. Upper limit is sine of pi by 2 minus you have to put the lower limit, that is 0 by 2. And sine of pi by 2 means 1 and sine of 0 is equal to what? 0. So 8 multiplied by 1, that is equal to 8. So 8 is the arc length of the polar curve r is equal to 1 plus cosine of theta. Okay, got it? So this is how you can find the arc length of any polar curve is